Hey, this is me, DJ, and I got a special announcement for all of you. That is right. I am no longer a virgin. Yes. Oh, yes. I got it on. That's right.
Hey, DJ. Ex-girlfriend just called. You guys broke up. What's up with that? Were you just telling all these guys that you're not a virgin anymore? You two, this guy is still a virgin.
No.
You can tell by the way you speak.
No.
Really?
No.
This guy?
No.
You serious?
No. Look, I want to have a word with you.
Anyways, hello YouTube and fellow amateur duelists. I'm Kyle, this is DJ, and we're here to introduce a new person on our segment. His name is Zack. Sup?
Here you go. He'll be here for a couple episodes. He's pretty tall, taller than me. You wouldn't believe that he's in lower grade.
Yeah.
8th grade.
Anyways, before we get into all of our new topics, we're going to get into our featured cards.
Featured!
Now, my featured card is Shrink. DJ, your featured card?
Decoy Dragon.
My featured card, Mirage Dragon.
Now, the good thing about my featured card, Shrink, it's a spell card, but it's also a quick play, which means it can be working like a trap card. Put it face down and wait for your opponent to attack. Say your opponent had a Blue Eyes on the field, and you had Mirage Dragon. And Blue Eyes is stronger, right? But Shrink splits the Blue Eyes attack power in half, causing it to be 1,500 instead of 3,000, making it, weaker than Mirage Dragon. Which means, obviously, you can use this on any kind of badass monster and get it out of the way. DJ, discuss your card.
Well, mine is Decoy Dragon. Only 2 stars, and for the record, it's pretty weak. Pretty weak looking, too. But, when this card is targeted as an attack target, then you can get any level 7 or higher dragon from out of your graveyard and summon it to the field and then switch the attack around. That way, your opponent's going to be doing damage to himself, and you just got the biggest monster on the field.
Alright, the reason why I like my card, Mirage Dragon, is when your opponent has trap cards and you want to attack, you don't have to worry about those trap cards because nothing will happen.
During battle phase, he's invincible.
Because Mirage Dragon cancels out any trap effects that will happen during the battle phase.
Oh.
Okay. Now that we've got our featured cards out of the way, let's discuss our featured topic. Themes. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what's a theme? A theme in a deck is basically, well, let's say, you pick the type of a monster. Now, just in case you don't know, a monster type is located right here next to its description. See, this one is Blockman. It's called a rock. A rock is a type. And then there's also a theme you can call for attributes, which is right here in the corner. There are 6 attributes for monsters: dark, light, wind, fire, and water. Oh, and earth. Wow. Anyways, back to our topic. When it comes to themes, pick a theme and you can build a deck off that. You can pick a bunch of cards from, whatever extras you have, and then work your way off that theme. Say you picked a warrior theme and picked a bunch of good warrior cards, like Obnoxious Celtic Guard or Marauding Captain. Stuff like that. Work off that and you can build yourself a good deck. Now our next topic is deck building. DJ, you can come help me. Now I'm teaching DJ here how to build a good deck. When it comes to deck building, you want to pick a bunch of random spells and traps. I saw that. What? Anyways, you want to pick a good amount of spells and traps. Are you mocking me?
No, not at all. You going?
Anyways, you want to pick a good amount of spells and traps to go along with your monsters. A good deck usually consists of 40 cards at the very least, because 40 cards is the minimum, but it also gives you a good chance of drawing any cards you might need during the duel. So, keep your deck balanced like this way. About 20 monsters, that's half the deck, about 10 spells and traps each, which means 10 spells, 10 traps. Or if you want to follow this format, 20 monsters, 13 spells, 7 traps. That's a more advanced format. Quit mocking me! Ah! Anyways, go through that format, and you'll be just fine in building your deck.
Alright, and another thing. You just don't have to have 40 cards. It can be higher than that. It can go up to 80. But
Actually,
100.
nowadays, when it comes to building your deck, you can only have at least 40 cards, but a maximum of 60. The rules change every now and then.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, they changed up again. Let's check that. But, at any rate, you can have more than just 40 cards, just as I said, go up to 60, and you can still, work your strategies into that. But usually, as you said, cards these days usually only have 40 because not many people want these big decks.
Yes. You see, it's better to keep your deck closer to 40 than it is to 60, because then you have a better chance of drawing cards you need. Now, when it comes to picking spells and traps, pick spells that support both your monsters, but also help to destroy your opponent's cards as well. Kind of like Heavy Storm and Giant Trunade, which can clear the field of spells and traps that might come your way. Or, you could use basic spells and traps that could support monsters. Like in a warrior-type deck, you can pick cards like, let's say, Phoenix Sword, Blade, Divine Blade, yeah, okay. Card like that, because it supports warrior types.
Yeah,
Card.
another one is Reinforcements of the Army. There are many support cards out there for any other type. There's support cards for just fire types, just water types, and just wind and earth. But you have to make sure when you make these types of decks that everything has to support the next card, because you never know what hand you're going to get. So you need the whole hand to be able to support itself for that turn. Just not a series of cards that fit together, like 6 or 7.
And when it comes to picking traps, mostly you want to pick traps that can counter against your opponent. Cards that can either destroy cards or block attacks. And sometimes you want to pick continuous traps that can stay onto the field and you can keep using their effects. Most of the time you pick traps that can counter effects of your opponents, but sometimes you can pick traps that can support you.
Alright, and another thing, spells. Spells, there are a lot of types of spells out there. And when you're choosing spells, you want to make sure that the spells have to do with, your deck. Such as if it's going to destroy that spell or destroy another card, or if it's going to help your deck overall. You don't want to throw random spells in there, or else you're just going to waste space. Space you actually kind of need. So remember, choose spells that will help you and your deck.
Now in our next episode, we're going to discuss with you ways you can build your deck but at a low affordable cost. Bargain bin. That'll happen on our next episode. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned.
All right.